In this video, we're going to talk about the 3 marijuana stocks that I recommend for 2018 and beyond. Stay tuned. Welcome back to WhiteBoard Finance. My name is Marco, and I'm here to help you master your money and build your wealth. If you're interested in learning more about personal finance, the stock market, entrepreneurship, or real estate investing, click subscribe below and hit the little bell with the notification symbol. Today we're talking about a smoking hot industry, an industry growing like a weed, an industry turning a new leaf. Okay, you get it, I'm done with the puns. We're talking about marijuana stocks to watch for 2018. Legal marijuana is one of the hottest industries since the tech industry of the early 2000s, and investors are definitely taking notice. Let's get into the analysis right now. The North American marijuana market grew 30% in 2016 to $6.9 billion, that's with a B, dollars in gross sales. The compound annual growth rate during that time period is expected to be 26% all the way through 2021. And if those estimates hold true, 2021 will see sales of $21.6 billion. That is huge, you guys. That's over a 300% increase just in the matter of 5 years. The heart of this growth is that 60% of Americans, and a similar number in Canada, are in favor of legalization versus just 25% in 1995. That's a huge difference. That's more than double. In Canada, there's a strong possibility that they will legalize recreational marijuana by July 1st of 2018, and that's why these picks are so important today, so pay attention. Number 1 is Canopy Growth Corporation. They're the biggest medical cannabis provider in Canada in terms of revenue and market cap. Canopy's growth has also aggressively expanded internationally with subsidiary partners in Australia, Brazil, Chile, Denmark, Germany, Jamaica, and Spain. That's a huge international presence. The stock is up nearly 120% so far in 2017, and check this news out. Major alcoholic beverage maker Constellation Brands announced that in October it was buying a 9.9% stake in Canopy Growth for $245 million. This is the same company that owns Corona and other major beer brands. Constellation is also partnering with Canopy to market a cannabis-infused beer. So imagine when that hits the shelves, everybody's going to be getting a little bit tipsy and a little bit more relaxed than usual. This endorsement is huge because it gives Canopy a legitimate partnership with an established huge brand such as Constellation. This is another important fact that I found. I'm going to read this verbatim because I think it's very important. The more immediate play, which brings in $7 million cash, is the sale of non-core subsidiary Metrum Limited to Cannabis Care Canada. This agreement also enters Canopy Growth and Cannabis Care Canada into a 3-year take-or-pay supply agreement with Canopy Growth for high-quality dried flowers and refined cannabis resin. With the sale of product at Canopy Growth's discretion, this sets Canopy in a win-win scenario for the next 3 years regarding this agreement. This is the kicker, so pay attention. The real story here is that Cannabis Care Canada is financially backed by Laborers International Union of North America. This is North America's single largest construction union with over 100,000 Canadian members. This signals that cannabis investing in Canada is reaching full-scale legitimacy with pension funds diving head-deep into the market. Overall, Canopy Growth looks very promising for 2018, especially if recreational cannabis is legalized this summer. This is one of my long-term picks, and it's one of the bigger players in the market that we're going to discuss today. Number 2, Aurora Cannabis. Aurora Cannabis is one of the biggest suppliers of medical cannabis in Canada, along with Canopy Growth, with expansion plans for Australia and Germany. It looks like everybody's going overseas where the medical market is looking to become more and more open and less stringent. This stock has had a great run with gains of 237% for the year to date, and it's fueled by 3 major pillars. The first being growing medical cannabis industry in Canada and also potentially North America as a whole. They've had a year-over-year growth of 39% reported for Q3. That's a huge growth number, you guys. Pay attention to that. The second pillar to Aurora's success is that they are eagerly anticipating the legalization of recreational use. This is going to more than double their current user base. Right now, they're only banking off people that are using this as a medical therapy, if you will. So once it becomes recreational, sales are going to more than double pretty easily, because I think even occasional users, they're going to be purchasing from drugstores and they're going to be purchasing from retailers, just like you would beer or anything else for that matter. The third pillar to their success is their aggressive acquisition and expansion strategy. They're in the process of acquiring Canamed Therapeutics for $455 million. This would actually bring in 5 more cultivation centers with capacity to produce 130,000 kilos per year of dried marijuana leaf. So a lot of people think that supply is actually too high right now. But again, we're banking on the fact that July 1st of 2018, recreational use will most likely be legalized in Canada. So that's easily going to fit that supply. And I think companies are going to be hunting for smaller companies to gobble up and actually acquire their means of production to keep up with that legalized supply and demand. Number 3 is Aphria. Aphria is up 170% since the beginning of this year, with a large spike recently because of a huge game-changing news. This spike is because they just signed an exclusive agreement with Shoppers Drug Mart. Shoppers has over 1,200 locations physically, and they also have a huge online presence as well. They also have over 10 million loyalty shoppers. This means that these are just the people with the little card that say, hey, I shop at Shoppers, let alone the rest of their customer base, which I'm sure is much larger than that. So with this online presence, the physical presence, and also all the big customer base that they have, this is going to be a huge joint venture for both Aphria and Shoppers, I believe. And that's really what's driven the stock over the past few weeks. Aphria also is competitive because they have some of the lowest production costs in the industry, meaning that their margins are going to be very high, meaning that they're going to be able to produce when it comes to earnings reports and things like that, which means ultimately the stock is going to go up. They also just completed a large sell-off of shares worth $90 million plus. That means they got cash in return for selling all those shares at a slight discount than market rate. So this means that they are well funded and able to deal with research and development, acquisitions of properties, and also facilities expansions as well. So there you have it. Those are my 3 picks for 2018 and possibly beyond. Obviously, we need to see how the legal terrain shakes up and also how the legislation plays through this July. However, I can tell you right now that if that does pass July 1st in 2018, a lot of these stocks are going to see huge 20, 30, 40, 50% gains. That's almost a guarantee. The market is going to be so big and so in demand that I think weed may even become a tourist industry, all joking aside. I think that people are actually going to be traveling to Canada just for that exact pastime. So with that being said, answer the question of the day below. I want to know, out of these 3 stocks, which one are you buying, or are you even interested in marijuana stocks at all? Or do you think this legislation will even pass? Thanks for watching. Again, if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell notifying you of more videos just like this. Again, I'm going to be talking about personal finance, stocks, entrepreneurship, and also real estate investing. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Shoppers has over 10 million loyalty customers, let alone just regular customers. These are people that are actually signed up for their loyalty program. And I think once this is legalized in July, they're going to become a lot more loyal and a lot more relaxed when it comes to shopping at Shoppers. So this should be a mutually beneficial joint program.